Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to this week's Facebook Live. And I'm really excited about this topic today, which is going to be all about fake exits at weddings. And what is so exciting is I actually photographed a wedding this last Saturday, and they did a fake exit. And what's really awesome is that not a lot of people know about fake exits, so I just wanted to do a quick Facebook Live and kind of explain it and tell you guys what the benefits are, because I feel like so many people are missing out on this really awesome wedding secret. So I even wrote down some notes so I don't get so sidetracked for you guys. So fake exits are essentially at the end of the reception when the bride and groom leave to go to their honeymoon or after party or wherever they're going. That's when they do their sparklers or bubbles or throw bird seed or whatever it is. And I think a lot of times at weddings, that is the very last thing that you plan on having photographed or videoed if you have a videographer. And more times than not, at the reception, I see guests leave. So at a wedding, you have the reception, you have, your bouquet toss, your cake cutting, and everything like that. And then after that, you have maybe scheduled a couple of hours for dancing, and maybe every wedding's different. So you might have 1 hour or 2 hours, or sometimes a lot more longer, depending on the type of wedding. Like a Greek wedding or Irish wedding, they love to party. So with that, your dancing can go on, and by the end of it, when you're gonna leave, a lot of the wedding guests are gone. They are not there anymore. So when you do your sparkler exit, you might have like 10 people there, and it's your mom and dad and one bridesmaid. And so there's like a new trend coming with fake wedding exits, and I love it because there's so many great benefits to it. It doesn't ruin any kind of moments in your wedding or make it weird. So it's definitely the best kept secret. I'm just looking at my notes. So it allows you to have more people in your photos. So the wedding I just photographed on Saturday, it was important to her that she had her bridal party only in her exit. So when you look at her photos, I'm going to show you guys one in a second. She has her bridesmaids and groomsmen, and then they have their parents and siblings and stuff, and that's it. Everybody else is kind of still dancing. So what they did was they snuck outside, and we did a fake exit. So we did sparklers, which was awesome. And then they all went back inside and had more fun, and they danced the night away. And the venue that she had, they actually stayed the night at. So it was like a resort, so they were able to stay there. So they were able to go back inside and enjoy hanging out with their guests longer. And their photos really benefited from it. And a couple ways that it can benefit your photos. One is that so you have more people in the photo. I've been to so many weddings where the reception goes on and then there's dancing, and when you finish all of the things like the cake and the bouquet toss, that's when most of your guests are like, okay, I'm gonna go home now because everything's kind of happened. Should we stay for the exit? Meh, I'm gonna leave. And when they leave, you have less people to be there to hold sparklers. And yes, Tara, oh my gosh, intoxicated guests with sparklers are so nervous. It's really bad. Even some venues have started making it a requirement that they don't even allow sparklers anymore because people get a little crazy with fire and alcohol combined. It's really bad. So that's one thing is by doing your exit earlier, your guests are not as drunk, and they're more like responsible, especially if you're gonna do sparklers. It's just a lot safer and you look better. I don't know, some people like go dance and get all sweaty and gross, and then by the end of the night when they do sparklers, everyone looks kind of like a hot mess. So if they're in your picture, you're like, this is probably not the best time. So by doing it earlier, you have more people in your photos. You can even choose the people that you want to have in your exit, and people are less likely to be drunk, especially if you're going to have dancing for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 hours after, you know, everything happens. So yeah, you can have that. Let's see. It lets people, so when you do the fake exit, so then you can have more time for your reception, and the people that you want to be there, especially like your grandparents or maybe older people, they will go and do your exit earlier with you guys, because more than likely at the very, very end of the night, if you do have a typical reception, they are probably gonna leave and not be there for your exit. So it's a really great way to improve your photos, have more people in your exit photos, and then go have more fun at your reception. You can go back and dance. And you also look better as the couple when you leave, by leaving a little bit earlier and doing a fake exit. You can make sure, like, oh, we look really awesome. We're not all sweaty, and your makeup's still together. Your hair looks awesome, compared to like waiting 3 more hours and dancing and everything else. You kind of start, you know, your hair starts, you know, going crazy, and your makeup doesn't last quite as long. So that's just a couple tips. I've only photographed, I think, like 3 weddings where they've done a fake exit. So I'm really hopeful that more brides and grooms will choose it, because it is such a great way to improve your photos and also just have more people in them, which is great. It also saves you money. So here's a quick little secret. For those of you who hire a professional photographer or videographer, most of the time they charge hourly. So all of my packages are set up in hours. So I have like a 6-hour package, an 8-hour package, and when I'm doing the timeline, you have to think, okay, the getting ready, the bridesmaids and groomsmen, and the ceremony, then the reception. So by the time, say you have 6 hours with me there, and you get to the reception, and you're like, oh, I don't think we're gonna have time for Audrey to stay for us to have dancing for 3 hours, because that's like half of your coverage. So having a fake exit, you could do that immediately after, you know, the bouquet toss, the garter, the cake, the father-daughter dances, all that stuff. You could do that maybe an hour after and still have plenty of dancing pictures, get the exit photos, and then I'm done and you guys can go and party, which is really great. You still get amazing photos. You look better because the night hasn't kept going on, and you know, professional hair and makeup is awesome, but especially in Georgia, the longer the wedding goes, the more and more like the humidity starts doing its thing, and it just, you know, at the end of the wedding, you do not want to have photos probably taken of you later. So that's just a couple tips with fake exits, and I just love them so much. And so if you have a wedding and you're trying to figure out, how do I get the most of my time with my photographer or videographer, is by, you can do a fake exit, and that way you still get those really fun sparkler pictures, or I've even seen like glow sticks or bubbles. Bubbles are making a comeback. So you can still have those photos with your photographer, but not actually have to leave your wedding, which is awesome. So that way you get those photos, you can go back and hang out with your guest, which is really great. I think the bride this last Saturday, we did her exit around like 8:30 was when we had the sparklers, and they all went back inside and hung out with their guests. They had like a fire pit, and it was really cozy and fun. It was up in the mountains. So if I had stayed there longer and photographed them for like 3 hours of dancing or hanging out, you kind of start getting the same pictures over and over of the same people dancing, and you can kind of even see some weddings I'll photograph, and you know, you have the first couple dancing photos and people are kind of, they look great and they're not all sweaty yet, but as the night goes on and the more that they drink or just get all gross, those photos are like, meh. So I'm more likely to include some of the beginning dancing photos more than like the later in the evening photos, because some people at weddings, they just really go crazy and they drink a lot, and those are not really photos that they probably want in your wedding album or even shared anywhere. You don't want to see those. So that's just a little couple tips about fake wedding exits. And honestly, when you're going through your pictures, you would never know some of the weddings that do this. You just never know. So it's a great time saver, money saver, and it makes your photos look better. So let me show you guys really quick. I have pulled up on my computer the exit from this last wedding I just did, and you can see her bridesmaids are in it. So let me see if y'all can even see this. Turn my phone around. So here is the exit photo. Can you see that? Maybe. There we go. So that is their exit picture. Kind of hard to show y'all on my phone, but you can see how her bridesmaids here are all wearing her color red dresses, and the guys have their gray. So this is going to look really awesome in their wedding album and be very cohesive with all the other pictures. So yeah, really exciting. Fake exits are making a comeback. If you have any questions about thinking about doing a fake exit, would it benefit you? Definitely reach out to me and I will help you figure that out. Yeah, so I hope you guys are having a great Monday. I'm really excited about next week. We're doing a Facebook Live with one of my friends, Becca, and she is a wedding dress designer, and she's gonna come on here and we're gonna talk about tips about wedding dress shopping. So if you are a bride and you haven't gone wedding dress shopping, definitely tune in next week. I'm so thrilled about it. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you'll have an awesome day, and we'll see you next week. Bye.